Hello singers! Welcome to a new episode of Vocals on Stage. Today's vocal tip is all about high notes and how to sing your high notes with ease. Thanks for tuning in again for a new episode. Today we're going to talk about high notes. But let's first analyze real quick, why are high notes even difficult for us? So the problem is not the high note per se. If you sing a high note light and breathy or in a low volume, it's not that difficult. Most of us will be able to produce that pitch that we want to produce. It gets trickier when we want to sing a high note with power and with a high volume. And what happens is that our subconscious mind starts to come in. It tells us, okay, it's time for the high note, prepare. Look up, shoulders up, tongue up, larynx up, everything kind of like points up. The problem is that this is actually counterproductive and it's not helping us at all in singing higher notes, and definitely not in singing higher notes with power. Here are my 4 vocal tips on how to sing your high notes with more ease and more power than before. Tip number 1, relax and exhale. Easier said than done. Sometimes our subconscious mind is controlling our larynx in such a way that it's not that easy to actually just relax. You never want to squeeze or push up for high notes because this tenses up the larynx and it actually activates the biological function of our larynx, and that is swallowing. In order to avoid that, you want to make sure that you never go into breath phonation, so you never actually squeeze or push so much. Instead, you want to make sure that the laryngeal muscles and your muscles of the neck, as well as your tongue muscles, face muscles, shoulders, etc., are staying as relaxed as possible. And you want to make sure that you provide your voice with enough airflow so that it never has to go into a pressed mode. What happens when we sing higher notes is that our vocal folds stretch. They're elastic and they kind of stretch a little bit like a rubber band. So when they are stretched, you want to allow them to actually thin out. That means that the sound is going to move up. And I always like to compare it to an elevator. You want to make sure that the weight, your tongue, your larynx, your shoulders, your eyes, etc. stays down, the weight stays down so that your resonance or the elevator cabin can shoot up. Yeah, it's kind of this contra movement. Stay relaxed and your body and your voice will do the necessary adjustments to get you to your high notes. Provide enough airflow and you'll be in very good shape. Tip number 2, maintain an even volume. We often tend to increase the volume as we are approaching the higher notes, the money notes, when we want to belt something. When you practice, try to maintain an even volume and an even airflow as you approach your higher notes. Tip number 3, think straight and out. Instead of approaching the higher note and lifting everything up and thinking that higher notes must be up here, I want you to think of them as vice versa. Either think of them as being down, so you want to feel like this grounded feeling. The airflow always is going to go straight and out. So you might as well just think of your high notes being straight and out, just like on a piano, straight and out. This will help your larynx and your tongue to stay in place and not raise as you're approaching a higher note. Tip number 4, anticipate the note. Act as if you're already singing the high note. Anticipate and prepare the resonance space that you will need in order to sing that higher note, and make sure you provide enough airflow. So anticipate where the note is going to feel, map it in your body, and prepare the resonance space before you sing the note. I hope you enjoyed these tips on high notes. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, send an email to contact@vocals-on-stage.com or just comment below.